And also, I would like to draw your attention to one of the most significant thing is the outline of the paper. Okay, this is so essential. This is so significant that you need to take whenever and wherever you develop your research project. So you should start with introduction, and introduction is the most important part in your research paper. The introduction is then followed by sections. These sections, we'll talk about each one briefly, and conclusion. Okay, you can see all these three major foundations that constitute every research paper, every, let's say, an essay, let's say. When we talked about essay writing, I just told you how your essay should be centered around, all right? So these are the building blocks of any paper you develop, whether it is an academic paper or just like a simple paragraph or just like a complete composition, right? So, and also you need to develop list of references and appendices if available. So this is the outline. This is how the outline of your paper is shaped, okay? And of course, when you talk about your introduction, depending on the kind of paper you're writing, okay? So this depends. Sometimes students are so much interested in developing a research paper on literature. And most of you, okay, are fond of literature writing. Some others, for example, are interested in developing papers in linguistics, for instance, or sociolinguistics. I mean, many different branches of linguistics, phonetics, phonology, pragmatics, semantics, and so on. Okay, so any type you develop, you should your introduction should contain the following aspects: the field of the study. Okay, you should briefly describe the field of the study, in which research areas your study located. For instance, is it in semantics, pragmatics, and whatever? Okay, this is so necessary. And if there are any previous studies on your topic, some people have talked about it or discussed or researched. If these studies relate to your own research, you should include them. Please do not neglect them. أكو بعض الطلاب، أكو بعض الباحثين، سواء كان باحث في الدراسات الأولية أو في الدراسات العليا أو حتى يعني حتى البوست doctoral students، يعني sometimes when they feel that يعني أكو دراسات سابقة حول الموضوع ماله، يتهرب من عنده، يعني يشرد من عنده، يخاف يقول لك أنا ليش أعيده مرة ثانية، يخاف يتهموني أنه أنا هنا ماخذ هذا العمل، رحت أنتحله، رحت أسرقه يعني، right? No, this is wrong actually. هذا يدل أنه إيش قد ما تقرأ أنت، إيش قد ما أنه يعني تشبع البحث مالتك مصادر ودراسات سابقة، يدل على أنه أنت مطلع يعني وعندك مستوى readership عالي, right? And also we'd like to talk about what's called research. You should also talk about research questions if available. You know that any research should be based on research questions, research problems, and objectives. Introduce your research project. Formulate your research questions and objectives. You should map out the structure of the paper by mentioning the main objectives you are after, okay? This is so significant. So research questions, research problem, background of research problem, so-called, these should be followed after the introduction, okay? And also your research should include one of the major elements in your entire research, which is called the theoretical background. Theoretical background is so significant because you need to mention the relevant definitions of your object of research. Okay, that should be compared, discussed critically, and also you should make clear which working definition you are using in your paper, why, and so on and so forth. So the theoretical background should be clear, should be sound, should be critically analyzed, should be critically presented and evaluated. يعني انه انا من اجي ابلش بالدراسه النظريه لاي ماده في سواء في الادب او في اللغه، فانا مو بس مجرد استعرض المعلومات مالتي، اجيب معلومات اصلا موجوده، النظريات المكتوبه في هذا المجال واجي ابدي اكتبها، لا، لازم انا من اختار ديفينيشن، تعريف ليش اختاريت هذا، اختاريت هذا الابروتش، هذا المنهج او هذه الطريقه او هاي الميثودولوجي او هذا التكنيك، ليش، شنو الاسباب. You should provide your rationale, you should provide your reasons. يعني good reasons should be good reasons. It's a kind of argumentative, let's say, يعني a kind of argumentation. You know, it's also it's essential that you clarify the relevance of these theoretical notions in relation to your research project. You should make a close association of what you have writing and you intend to write, and you intend to improve, in the end. Okay, and your research claims should be also clear to the reader. You should make this very clear. Okay, and in fact, I'm not going to talk about everything here, but just give you a briefing of the most essential elements that you need to take care of when you develop your research project. And methodology, for instance. Here, we, especially those who are interested in developing research in linguistics، يعني اللي مهتمين بالدراسات اللغوية في التيتشينج مثلا، في التدريس أو التعليم، أو في المجالات اللغوية الأخرى، في كل المجالات الخاصة باللينغويستيك، يعني اللينغويستيك ستاديز، sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics, pragmatics, cognitive linguistics اللي من اللغة الإدراكي وما إلى ذلك. هاي إن شاء الله راح تشوفوها أنتم بالرابع من تأخذون فد بحث معين. يعني you have to explain the type and the quantity of the data used and elaborate on why you choose this kind of data. This is so foundational. هذا كلش أساسي. يعني أنا من أجي أطرح هذه القضايا لازم أنه أختار، أقول أنه ليش أنا أختار هذا النوع من الداتا، يعني الداتا اللي أحصلها وشنو نوعها منين، يعني السورسز مالتها، هل هي عبارة عن for example text أخذ نص وأحلله، لو عبارة عن interviews يعني مقابلات أسوي مع الأشخاص، مع أساتذة، مع طلاب، وبعدين أبدأ أحلل هاي الداتا and so on. What type of data am I using؟ هل هي text corpus, questionnaire, interviews؟ هل هي مثلا أحلل أفلام معينة قصيرة؟ هل هي عبارة عن teaching intervention، يعني أنا أريد أدرس، عندي نظرية معينة أريد أثبتها، فعندي مثلا مجال أدرس به مدارس مثلا سواء كانت يعني primary schools أو basic education, high schools or university education، أنه أريد أدرس وأريد أثبت نظرية معينة. You should also include an explanatory statement. Why did you choose this source? Why? So your description should be clear, right? And this is very, I mean, very necessary. All right. So don't miss this one, please, when you take questionnaires or you adopt some kind of attitude surveys or interviews or text analysis. You should also mention problems you had while collecting the data and explain how you dealt with those problems. So when you collect data, you face challenges. Absolutely, every one of us during the collection, the data collection phase, everyone faces some challenges. How the challenges should be explained well, clearly, and you should give rationale. Okay, حتى نتجنب هذا البايس من الباحث، يعني زين الانحياز للباحث، و you should give rationale, تعطي good reasons of these challenges. Okay, and then after collecting data, you should you should now analyze data, present data, analyze data, how did you analyze your data? What did you do with the data? According to which principles, categories did you classify the data? أنا يعني بعد ما مثلا سويت مقابلة مع زملاء الطلاب على موضوع معين، مثلا the main differences مثلا the main differences between male and, for example, females' linguistic usages, for example, using Facebook. زين الفروقات الأساسية الاستخدامات اللغوية ما بين الرجل الذكر والأنثى for example، أو الرجل والمرأة في يعني وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي. يعني نشوف الفروقات مالتهم، يعني شلون يستخدمون الاكسبريشنز التعابير، او مثلا البولايتنس، يعني الاكسبريشنز التعابير من يكون اكثر polite، يعني male or females. Okay, who is more polite يعني using through social media for example. So بعد ما اجمع الداتا لازم اسوي لها categories، اصنفهن الى themes، merging themes. هذه themes ممكن تكون تحتوي على sub themes وهكذا. زين، ف everything should be counted, everything should be analyzed, should be presented well to the reader. And also you should reflect your own life experiences. You should by providing these examples taken from your own let's say from your environment, you should reflect using your own personal life, your personal experiences in order to clarify this by using some procedures of analysis. Okay, طبعا هاي procedures of analysis some students might use, for instance, statistical programs، يعني برامج إحصائية حتى يطلع من عندها الداتا مالته تكون أرقام statistics وما إلى ذلك. After that, you should use results. I mean, come to results, to real results. So you should present your data in detail using examples for describing and evaluating them. I mean, evaluating your data. The quantitative results are illustrated with tables and figures. يعني أنا مثلاً أعتمد على نتائج عددية، يعني tables، زين، بها أرقام، بها إحصاءات، هل قد عندي عدد قالوا نعم، هل قد عندي عدد قالوا لا، and so on and so forth. These are called quantitative data, quantitative results. You should present them clearly using tables and so on. These tables should be explained, discussed in detail as to why you have made your choice. You should reasonably present your data, discuss your data, and reflect on this data. After the results, you should discuss. In this section, the results should be critically discussed with reference to the research questions. You should reflect on the research questions you have already mentioned. You should show how your questions can be answered by means of the results of your research project. So, and of course, every research is an attempt to address research questions in order to find some results or solutions. يعني هاي مثلا من تيم عندها، يعني كل بحث فيه research questions. اكو سؤال يدور حول هذا البحث، انا اريد ان اجد حل لهذا السؤال اللي موجود في ذهني واطور عليه نظريات وابحاث وما الى ذلك، وقد اصل الى نتائج ما موجوده اصلا، يعني ما حد متوصل لها. So your discussion should be uniquely made clear to the readers. So it should be distinct, I mean, right? So so also your discussion should include the implications of your results. Do your findings contribute to the field of study and how؟ يعني النتائج اللي توصلت لها أنا ممكن راح تساهم بالحقل اللي اختاريته أنا، سواء كان بالأدب. أكو هواي طلاب طبعاً، هواي researchers and graduate students يختارون مثلاً مواضيع في الأدب، مثلاً الحقد والكراهية في الرواية الفلانية. For example, Revenge in Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. Okay, so how would you contribute to this? Okay, يعني شلون راح تكون مساهمتك بهذا الموضوع؟ هذا الموضوع طرقوا له وأشبع بحثاً. شنو الجديد؟ شو راح تخلق شيء جديد أنت؟ أنا يعجبني البحث اللي يكون reflective experience بنوع من analytical يعني you present a piece of analysis of يعني reflecting your own life and the life of others. Okay, and put all these realities into onto the novel, because the novel is a reflection of life, mirrors your life. So it should make connections wherever possible, you know? So after that, you should conclude, you should refer back to the object of research. This paper has dealt with the problem. I have investigated this, and the main results should be summarized as this one, for example. So the concluding remarks should be included, should be clearly made in your research. I mean, in your entire research. So also, you should mention implications for future research, because in every single research, you will not be able to cover the whole issue. Okay, some might be left for future investigation. So could be investigated for future. So you need to say, for example, this field or the issues, the following issues need to be addressed for future research, because you know you will not be able to do all of these things. It's not possible, but you should make reference to. يعني أنا أنطي reference أقول إن هذه القضايا ممكن تناقش في بحوث مستقبلية, right? You open new doors for researchers to investigate new issues of the same field of study you have already investigated, all right? عندي أنا حقل معين، أخذت موضوع معين بسيط، لكن أنا ما قدرت أناقش كل الأمور اللي موجودة فيه، أخذت جزء بسيط جدا. أترك مجال للباحثين الآخرين أنه أقول لهم يابا ممكن أنتم ممكن هذه القضايا تناقش في المستقبل وتعطي بها implications. شنو المضامين هذا؟ Okay, remaining issues, open questions, necessity for future research, and so on and so forth. So these are so significant. Later, when you conclude, you also need to make your list of references. I will show you here, and appendices if available. شنو الappendices؟ يعني أنا ممكن, for example, depend on questionnaire, depend on interviews, depend on text. هذا التكست أخليه بالأخير. الquestions, الinterview questions أحتاجها تكون بنهاية research paper, because you have to put it for reference, for a future reference. Just keep in mind that readers might need to go over your research questions, your interview questions, your text of analysis, your interview questions, your test. يعني أنت مسوي تيست بس الريدر يريد يعرف التيست شنو طبيعته، يريد الأسئلة مالته. You have to put this under the category appendix or appendices or appendix. Okay. So many different things. I'm not going to talk about everything here. I will jump to one of the significant things, which is basically just please, for dear students, I will share with you now again the references page, which is located in the end of your entire paper. تعرفون أنه قائمة المصادر دائما وين تكون؟ دائما تكون في نهاية البحث. وطبعا هاي يسمونها الرود ماب، خارطة الطريق لكل المصادر اللي انت ممكن تستخدمها. Books, parts of books, and pamphlets. I will just read. APA style documentation models for reference page. The following are models of how different kinds of sources must appear on the reference page at the end of the paper. So we need to exactly follow what the APA manual, APA documentation requires us to do. بالضبط شو يريد من عندنا هذا. طبعا شباب أعتقد the time will be over in just a few minutes, 10 minutes. After these 10 minutes, please just join again if you like. If you don't, I will continue and I will record the video again. So if you use books, for example, or parts of books, يعني chapters, or pamphlets, يعني كتيبات. شلون اوثقه في نهايه الريفرنس بيج؟ شوفوا انا معطيكم رود ماب as you can see. If it is a book اذا انا مستخدم كتاب you should write the author's last name here. The original name is R.S. Barth as you can see. But when you write when you document this as a reference book, as a reference material, you should introduce the last name as it is the first. Okay? يعني تقدم الاسم الآخر كما لو كان الأول. Barth. Then what RS, this is the first name. Then you should write the year here. You see? Then the book title, as you can see, Improving Schools from Within Teachers. This is just an example. Parents and principals can make the difference. Okay? This should be italicized, as you can see. Then publisher's location, San Francisco, CA, California. Then you should put here colon, I mean the publisher's location place, right? Then the publishing company, Josie Paz. This is how you give full documentation of a reference book. Okay? هذا هو التوثيق الكامل إذا كان كتاب متكون من مؤلف واحد. If it is online book, how should you introduce the information in the end of your research paper? The same, you should first write the author's last name here, Porter, and MF, the initials of the first name. Here, as you can see, the book title, Applied Psychology for Nurses. Then you write retrieved from HTTP. This is the internet address, should be introduced here. As you can see, most of you do not follow this, all right? And we have different kinds of documented online book, for example. Okay, I will show you in the following pages. So this is the published book. هذا كتاب publish يعني مطبوع. Hard book كتاب بيدك موجود يعني. This is online book. Okay. If you make use of chapters, for example, in an edited book, يعني أنا أخذت chapter معين من كتاب وكتاب هذا بمحررين يعني بعدة مقالات مثلا وبمحررين موجودين. فشلون أنا أستفيد من عنده؟ First of all, you should write the last names, okay, the initials of articles, authors, as you can see here. يعني تاخذ الارتكل اللي موجودة بالكتاب. يعني الكتاب بعدة مقالات، كل مقالة باسم مؤلف. يعني مثل كتاب تلقى الشابتر 1 باسم مؤلف فلاني، شابتر 2 مؤلف مختلف. هذا يسمونه كتاب يعني edited يعني اوكي بeditors بمحررون يعني زين. ف you should take the name of the not of the book's writer, no, or editors, no, the article's author. يعني من مؤلف الارتكل. Year, you should make sure that you write here the article title here, 6 environment myths and so on. N, then you write N with the capital letter. Here you write the last names of editors of the entire book. Okay, this is very simple one. Okay, N, LG, Kersner, and SR Mandel. You also should introduce the EDS as editors between two brackets. Okay, eds, or add. Later, you write the book title. Here, the article title. Here, the book title. You should make sure that you write well, okay, correctly. يعني عنوان المقالة هنا عنوان الكتاب. Then, which edition? Maybe the first, second, third edition. You should here include the pages of the article as indicated in the book. الصفحات مال المقال اللي انت اخذته مال chapter. same publisher's location and company, place and publisher, right? As you can see. I think it's clear. It is little bit يعني more complicated than the online book and the one single author book, but you'll get adapted to this. راح تتعودون على هذا الشيء حتى توثقون بصورة صحيحة. بالرابع إن شاء الله متواصلون، ما راح يصير عندكم أخطاء. Okay, this is chapter in an edited book. سواء كان يعني العفو كان يعني chapter in an edited book or an article، مقالة يعني. واضح؟ Now, if it is an article in a reference book or entry in a dictionary, يعني طبعا here many examples are given to you, will be provided. If it is article in a reference book or entry in a dictionary, how would you write it in the reference page in the end of your research paper? Okay, if it is online reference article or dictionary entry، إذا كان online reference article online يعني شو راح تكون؟ If it is pamphlet, for example, you see. If it is scholarly journal article، إذا كان لك journal، periodicals، دوريات، يعني من المجلات اللي موجودة أصلاً عندنا شلون راح نعاملها إحنا. Okay. For example ممكن تستفيد من مجلات كثيرة، يكون عندنا مثل مجلات محلية، مجلة كلية الآداب، مجلة دراسات البصرة، مجلة دراسات الخليج and so on. So how would you document this? Okay, as you can see. If it is a journal article with a digital object identifier، اكو بيها يسمونه الديجيت DOI، بيها يعني معرف رقمي. اوكي، شلون هاي راح نتعامل وياها؟ اذا كانت مثلا for example daily newspaper article، how would you do this? This is a nice roadmap that will pave the way, that will easily guide you to how to introduce your reference page. إذا كانت مثلا مقالة في newspaper شلون تتعامل وياها؟ magazine article، article found on a library database for example، periodical article on the internet. إذا كانت مقالة موجودة بالإنترنت تختلف عن المقالة اللي موجودة في المجلة اللي ذكرتها مساء. How would you document this? Okay, so you have to be very careful, please. Okay. The websites, okay. Internet source with an organization as author، internet source with no author. إذا عندي أنا source be author و source ما be author، يعني دخلت على الانترنت لقيت author ومرة ما لقيت author، شلون أسوي هنا؟ مطيني road map كامل، right? As you can see. Technical report on the internet. I don't know whether you need it or not, but it's worth learning يعني. You see? I'm just flipping so quickly. Films and television، يعني ممكن أنا أستفيد حتى من الأفلام بالتوثيق. يعني I need for example DVD or videos, episodes، حلقات أنا هذا استفيد منه. عندي شفت فيلم وأريد أوثقه يعني for example، أو أخذت مقطع من فيلم وأريد أوثقه. So how would you do this for example? And many more actually. And I will record a complete video hopefully on all these data, and I will upload it soon on YouTube. شباب الوقت طبعا خلص، أنا آسف جدا، sorry for this. راح أسوي فيديو آخر لهذه المسائل أشرح بها الكيفية. أسوي reference page. Please, if you have questions, I'm just ready to listen to you. Thank you very much indeed for listening.